Hello everyone, Seraphin here, welcome back to what will hopefully be the finale of Mega Man X4. When I last saw you guys, I had to lose another life actually to get out of Sigma's area and get back to the stage select where I could refill my sub-tanks. I found a great place to do it. Turns out if you jump straight up in Frost Walrus's level, there's a ton of health pickups up there. So I refilled them pretty quick, and then I got back to this point. I had to fight all the 8 Mavericks again, but it wasn't too bad, I guess. That being said, I'm noticing a trend, and by noticing I mean I already knew, I just keep forgetting. Something that I do a lot in games like this is I screw up a lot when I really shouldn't. Like, a lot of the times I get hit in certain situations or I lose a fight that I really had no business losing or no business getting hit in certain situations. And a lot of the reason for that is because I'm impatient. That's really the long and short of it, as I'm really impatient. So, rather than taking my time, thinking things through, and being careful and not getting hit by things, I tend to just want to expedite, like, see, that's an example right there. I tend to try to expedite the situation, and I end up screwing up, and it costs me a lot as a result. So, as a result of not timing my jumps perfectly just there, I end up getting hit by freaking Reaper Sigma, who you should never get hit by, because he's a cakewalk, but, you know, it happens, I guess. Anyway, that being said, I'm hoping to be able to just take my time this time and do things properly and not get killed, or at least not get hit quite as much. I guess if I don't get hit quite as much, I won't die quite as much. That's a neat side effect of that. I did figure out how to dodge that scythe, by the way. Turns out, if you're in the air when he throws it, he'll throw it on the wall. If you're on the ground, he'll throw it on the ground. Imagine that. And the nice thing is, all you need to do is just kind of jump up when he's ready to throw it, and he'll throw it right over your head. So I figured that out. And also, you can hit him while he's doing this. It's just, you gotta be careful, because it's the only way to do it really is to use the Kuenbu, and if you're not careful, you'll just land right on him and he'll hit you. So you gotta... That's one thing that I learned the hard way too on a couple of occasions. I'm just gonna kill him right here. So there, I didn't get hit by that form at all. Shouldn't have gotten hit by Reaper Sigma, but you know how it goes. At any rate, so now we have 2 full sub-tanks, and we will have full health once I pick up that power-up downstairs, and we'll have 3 full life bars effectively take out second form Sigma, which I can't imagine I will have any difficulty doing this time. Maybe some difficulty, but I'll be able to do it. He's still a massive jerk for saying that.
Final journey?
My final journey? Where am I going? I thought I was right here. Stupid lightning head. I hate the lightning head. I wish it would just die and go away, because I get hit by it every single freaking time. I keep using the wrong freaking special move too there. Okay, for real. I mentioned I hate the lightning head. It's so hard to dodge. It's like the there's something similar to that. Ow, as I walk into Sigma. Keep forgetting he technically has hitboxes for his physical body here. And this form does not warrant me screwing up this much. There's the cold head, that's the easiest one to dodge. You guys haven't seen the fire head yet, I just realized. He hasn't shown that one off yet, and I don't know why. Ow. Alright, let's heal up real quick before I forget, because I don't want to die again. So avoid getting hit by as many of these rocks as possible, I hope. Here's the fire head. This one's not too hard to dodge if you're careful. Here I am talking about being careful as I keep getting killed in the certain processes here. Ow. Alright, that's enough of that nonsense. Okay, seriously, I'm using the wrong freaking move, and it's starting to irritate me now. I know I've mentioned a couple times it is a poor craftsman who blames his tools, and that's still correct. It's my own freaking fault, and I have no real excuse. It's just really frustrating when I screw up like that, and I have no one to blame but myself. At any rate, that is the giant robot body of Sigma taken care of. It just leaves the stupid disembodied head. Okay, and as I properly Shapuga into his face instead of the other thing that I wasn't doing. Raihengeki sadly does not do a whole lot to him, so this is your best bet. I don't know if I properly showed this off. That's the move you get from Slash Beast with Zero. It's similar to the ground hunter that X gets in certain respects, at any rate. Okay, I think we got him the next pass, maybe. If I can blow the stupid lightning head up. Yeah, like that. Look at that. A little easier when you blow the darn thing up. Alright, I don't want to risk getting killed by a lucky hit, so we're going to refill real quick. Because that happened once, and I don't want to revisit that. Whoa! Okay. Alright, there we go. That's it. Sigma's done. I unnecessarily used that second sub-tank. I didn't need it, but that's okay. Rather better safe than sorry. So here we go. Sigma's just laughing his butt off. What's so funny? This weapon is aimed at Earth. No one can stop it. Goodbye, Zero. Sigma very proud of himself, apparently. He seems to think he's won already. And now we're like, well, what do? We gotta find somebody to stop it. There's a gate over here. Maybe there's something we can do to blow it up, or shut it off, or whatever. Uh-oh. Not General again. What is... Oh. Zero, I was wrong. Yeah, you really were. This entire time, this was kind of all your fault. Like, honestly. If they just hadn't set up some coup and tried to make their own... Nah, it's whatever. He blinded me to the truth. Why would you listen to a guy as maniacal as him? At rest, he says. Yeah, rest. You'll be fine, I'm sure, with your arm and leg missing. With my body, I can stop the weapon. He's gonna, like, plug it himself. Yep, so General makes the ultimate sacrifice and blows himself up to take the weapon out with him and save the entire planet in the process. How noble.
So, this is what happened to me. This is my fate. I couldn't save anyone after all. Iris!
Please stop, brother. Zero.
Iris, did we Reploids all turn out to be Mavericks after all?
It's not strictly true, I guess. At any rate. So, at any rate, that's Mega Man X4. Made it through, not without some difficulty. I confess, again, I'm not as good at this one as I was in X1. I do like these games an awful lot. I don't play them enough to be, you know, super great at them, I guess. I'm passable, as you can see here. I still managed to beat it, but it's a slog sometimes. If you want to talk about a real slog, though, we'll talk about that in X6 if I ever play that one. At any rate, so now that we've beaten the game, you saw a lot of what was heavily implied through those cutscenes as to Zero's origins. You saw it in the intro sequence with him, you saw it in that cutscene just before the Sigma fight, and you saw it again there in the ending. And what you all were seeing is these images suggesting that Dr. Wily is the one who built Zero, and I'm here to tell you that is absolutely true. So, apologies. That's actually covered a little bit in X2, believe it or not. Sigma does mention something about Zero being the greatest of the Doctor's creations. He's not talking about Dr. Light, he's talking about Dr. Wily. So, Dr. Wily built Zero. He was intended to be I guess, the final solution, if you want to think of it that way, for defeating X, or defeating Mega Man at the time, and finally securing his superiority over his rival, Dr. Light. But given the fact that Dr. Light did not survive to see X in action, neither did Dr. Wily survive to see Zero in action. That being said, that is not the only thing that Dr. Wily left behind besides Zero. You saw that during that sequence, Zero was fighting Sigma. Sigma was still a good guy, and Sigma was a good guy, and Zero was the Maverick. And what happened was Dr. Wily actually created a computer virus, effectively, that infects Maverick or Reploid psyches at any rate, and that's what Zero also had initially. But as a result of him getting defeated by Sigma, that particular virus, I guess, quote-unquote, transferred to Sigma and spread out from there. So now Zero can no longer become a Maverick somehow. I don't know how that makes any sense. And then X cannot either, simply because he was tested thoroughly and he was built by Dr. Light. He's just immune to it. And when Dr. Kane made replicas, Reploids of X, he made them imperfectly, and they did not have the same immunity, so... So if all the heavily implied situations going on throughout the cutscenes in this game, there's your confirmation. X and Zero is basically the legacies, respectively, of Dr. Light and Dr. Wily, since they're no longer around. But now Zero's a good guy, so Dr. Wily really... In a way, I guess he got what he wanted. There's still perpetual warfare happening, but... It's not Zero that's committing all the war anymore. So anyway, that was it. Final weapon still blowing up in the background. Again, I don't know why anybody would build a stupid laser cannon pointed directly at the Earth. But what do I know? The battle has ended, but for some reason, Zero's memories of the past continue to haunt his mind. As a hunter, it is his duty to go after those Mavericks, and yet at the same time, he knows that it is his destiny to one day defeat his friend. 2 different people, 2 different fates. In the future, Zero's decision will lead to 2 great hunters to tragedy. The future is coming. Well, that's ominous. It's certainly true. So, something else I wanted to touch on a little bit. It's kind of a spoiler. Actually, I swear I thought they told you about it at the end of the game. Maybe it's one of the other ones that they tell you about it. So, there actually is a cheat code you can do with Zero. With X too, but for Zero it's a little bit... It's different in certain ways. I mentioned that there is... a little while ago I mentioned there are no armor upgrades for Zero. That technically is still true. However, there is something you can do to alter his appearance. So what you can do on the character select screen here, if you highlight Zero, and what you're going to want to do is hold down the R1 button on your PS1 controller. That's assuming you're playing on the PlayStation, by the way. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm technically playing on a PS1 emulator, so this code is different if you're playing this game on like the Mega Man X Collection. For current-gen consoles, I don't know if what the code is in this iteration. I'm just using the original PlayStation 1. So what you do, you hold down the R1 key, you press the right button 6 times, you let go of R1, and then you hold down the circle button and press start. And you keep the circle button held down. I don't know that this is strictly necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway just for the sake of maintaining accuracy here. We're just going to skip all the cutscenes and whatnot. We're going to skip this part because we don't need to see it. And that should jump us into the intro level, and something should be different here. Huzzah! Here we are. So, the cheat code successfully input, we have Zero with black armor. And the strange thing is the black armor does not persist in the pause menu. He looks red in his portrait in here too. So you may be wondering, what's cool about the black armor? Well, there's not much different, really. In fact, it's really just an aesthetic change. That's all it is. Combat capability-wise, Zero is no different with the black armor in this game. However, in later installments, specifically in X5 and X6, the black armor does do something. So in X5 and X6, what it does is there is a system called the parts system in X5 and X6 where X and Zero can equip upgrade parts in addition to X's armor suits and whatnot. And these parts just have varying effects that are like slight upgrades. In Zero's case, when you unlock the black armor for him, he comes built in with a couple of extra upgrades. The most important of those, in my opinion, is he comes equipped with something called the shock buffer. And the shock buffer is a part that reduces damage dealt to you by half and also cuts in half the time that you're stunned after getting hit. And you might be thinking, holy crap, why... That would be amazing to have in this game, and you're right, and that would be awesome if that actually benefited with the Black Armor Zero in this game, but it does not. It is simply aesthetic. So, another thing you get with Black Armor Zero in X5 and X6 is the Saber Plus, which is like just an upgraded damage version of the Saber, and also the... what does he call it? I don't know what it's called, actually, but it gives Zero the effect that Hien Kyaku has in this game. It lets him destroy projectiles with his Saber. So if you use the cheat code for Black Armor Zero in X5 and X6, he starts with all those parts upgraded, and he has black armor. It actually is possible, as it was pointed out to me, I was reminded really, that it can be legitimately obtained in X5. There actually is a legitimate way to do it during gameplay to get the black armor for Zero. It's a little involved and not super duper easy. You can just put a cheat code in and have it from the beginning, or if you want to do it legitimately, I guess it's up to you. X does not get a different color armor by using a similar cheat code. Instead, he gets his ultimate armor, as I described some number of episodes ago. But yeah, Black Armor 0 is something that's really cool to have in the X4 and X5 and X6 games. It actually does change the color of his saber in X6 too. You'll notice he still has a green saber in this game when he's in Black Armor, but if you play X6 and use the Black Armor code cheat, his saber will actually be blue instead. Which, let's be honest, is the coolest thing in the world. A Black Armor 0 with a blue saber, oh man, I was in love. At any rate, I don't really know why I'm bothering to play through this intro level again. I just wanted to show off the Black Armor and all of its awesomeness, really. So if you're playing through this, just keep in mind, it technically is a cheat code in this game, but it doesn't affect gameplay at all, so don't feel guilty about having to use it in this one. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to make it easier. It's not going to make things unfair. It's just going to change how you look. So do it to your heart's content. I will have no objections, and honestly, you can play with as many cheat codes as you want anyway, and no one should judge you for that. And if they do, then politely tell them to shut up, because that's not very nice of them. Who am I to tell you what to do? At any rate, we're going to call it a day here. This is the end of Mega Man X4. I might come through and play this again with X just so you can see how different it is with him, because it's a very different experience with X. So at any rate, that's it for now. We're going to call it, and I will join you guys in the next series, whatever that decides to be yet. Maybe I'll do more Mega Man, maybe I won't. I'm getting a little burned out on it, to be honest. I think too much in a row is... I need to take a break from that. I'm not my friend Late Night Mega who can do this non-stop for day in and day out, so... At any rate, I will see you guys next time. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. Hope it's been fun. And until I see you next time, this has been Seraphin. Stay classy, internets.